Welcome to the Speed Force Racing GP2 division for round 18 of the Japanese Grand Prix for the GP2. We're now going into the qualifying session, and my name is Jenkins, and alongside me is Cadwell. And Cadwell will tell you the standings for the drivers and the constructors championship right now.
Okay then, so hello everyone, just to say, so for the drivers championship, it is as follows. It is Nadim on Nadim first with 159 points. Second with 127 points is Quintin. Third is X Gamer. Fourth is Senna Martins. Fifth is Ibeni. Serge is sixth. Mike is seventh. Eighth is Frederick. Cassidy is ninth. 10th is James TLH. Mackett is 11th. Cobalt is 12th. Topics is 13th. Storm 14th. Chris 15th. Ray is 16th. TCF Old Boy is 17th. Rob is 18th. 19th is Charlie in Japan, and Nickaz Rock in 20th. And then it's close in the constructors actually. 100 it's 241 plays 234, which is of course Renault from Williams. There it is. From then McLaren, then it is Mercedes, Alfa Romeo, Racing Point, Red Bull, Ferrari, AlphaTauri and Haas. So there you go.
So these are the standings, and first one out is Senna Martins in the Renault car, and I've noticed that in the constructor team having quite a huge championship lead. He has been very important, and as Senna goes off in his outlap. Quite weird, and I got that on stream as well, so that's a bit of a moment that you don't really want to show us, but yeah. For the first car out is I think Chris, who was back from his race ban he got in Singapore after he deliberately tried to took out Senna. So he's back in the car this week, and let's see how he will be going around Suzuka.
Yeah, and as you were saying about the championship at the top between the two SAF1 people, which is Quintin and Nadim. Nadim is 32 points ahead at the moment, as you were saying. So it's quite a big margin going into the last 5 races. So
yeah, that's really the gap that you really want going into the last stage of the season, and only to do for him is to be consistent and don't lose too many points, and if you can, just win a few points on your rivals.
Yeah, that's the best probably you can do. As you say, just and just to say that Ray has retired, so
yes, I don't know if he had a qualifying ban or he just wants to do a last and first challenge around here. As Quit says, the first time with 126.792. That's follow our championship leader, which is SCF1 Demon in the Williams car. going through the last chicane right now. Coming up to the line, our cyclist has retired. Goes to first place with 1:26.3. So what are the times we can look out for these GP2 guys, do you think?
Yeah, 25s. I'd say maybe they can probably get a high 25. Would be what I would say, but it will be any time around that, I would say, tonight, because when you look at last night and GP3, they did around 20. Wait, if I find it, let me just find it. They did like yeah, they did 27, so we're already beating them, but it doesn't really matter at the moment. But as I say, I would say yeah, 25s is where I would aim for, like high 25s. Yeah, high 25s, because there was like 26s, 27s for them, so high 25s I'd say for them. Like 25, I would say pole position tonight would probably be like a 25-8. So
it will be interesting to see who firstly hits the 25.
But I could be wrong though. So.
I think you're quite close to your prediction. If we get a 26.3 as a banker, then we're gonna get faster, probably.
Indeed. But is anyone on a lap right now? Macket's just about to start his lap.
So we can follow him on his first one. Because he's got that annoying gearbox glitch.
I think he lost it in the S's, because on my screen it looks like he's going a little bit slower than you normally do, but
yeah,
just be
I thought the same.
Yep, he was slowed up in his lap there. Anyone else in their lap?
Frederick is on the lap. And the Reynolds are on the lap. Oh, Frederick lost the rear coming out of the S section.
He did indeed, but he's still managing to continue his lap. It's just going to be interesting to see what actually happens, I think, as I can see an old boy heading now into the last little bit of the circuit, so heading into the chicane now he goes. It is going to be interesting to see what happens. So. And he does a 28, not bad.
Currently good enough for the 7th time for the Alfa Romeo. But we also see that Calvin has done 3 laps in the soft with 28.4 as fastest.
As you're saying, Senna now coming to finish his lap off, but it looks like a slow lap, so I think he may be pitting.
Yes, he is. And his teammate didn't validate, so not really a good qualifying session for the Renaults at the moment. And they're both pitting. We have Krishnan on the lap, who is now entering the S section. Let's see if he can improve in the first sector. He's right up on his time.
it's going to be interesting as you look at this, because Williams and McLaren are technically only separated by 10 points, and then from Williams to Renault, who are top of the championship, is literally only like 5 points. So
yeah, that's a really close championship.
In the constructors, definitely. So at the moment, it will be Williams. If it stays, it will say this is the race, for example. Williams will do better than the Renaults, so they'll get pole. They would be like in first going into the last couple of rounds. So as we know, but yeah.
Let's have the eyes on Quinton, and he sets pole as he got a little tough on James, and it is a 26.1 from the McLaren. And we can now take a look what his teammate is going to do. He is in the first sector a tenth up on his time. And what's his second sector going to be? As he runs a little bit wide coming out of the spoon corner. He is 2 tenths up on his time, so that will theoretically be a P3, but can he find some time in this chicane? Oh, he validates a chicane, and it would have been a 26.7, which would have improved his grip position. But we've seen earlier this year that the qualifying pace from the McLarens are really good. They have taken quite a few pole positions, and this could be another one. Nadim is going for his second run, entering now the final chicane, and will he retake his pole position from his F1 college? No, he won't. He improves slightly, but stays in the 26.3. Oh, Magatas crashed coming out of yeah, right under that tunnel before the hairpin.
That's not a good thing.
No, so he'll drop out of the top 10 and have a free tyre choice.
As Serge has just done a quick lap there to put himself 6th, so he was, I think, he was in like 12th, he's now up to 6th, so really good lap there from Serge, up to 6th.
Indeed. Frederick goes up in 6th place, and let's see what the Renaults can do. Senna has stayed on his medium tires, so he wants to set a lap on this one. It's currently 8th place with a 27.9. Let's see what his teammate's gonna do, but he invalidates again. That isn't really a good sign for him.
Daniel just put in that Ray, who is currently 14th at the moment, is serving a quali ban.
Okay, I don't really remember where he got that for, but it is what it is, and maybe we can have a nice show from him, as the F1 guy seems to be very quick over the last few weeks, and he had a good debut last week at Russia, where I think he won on track, but due to penalties he dropped out of 3rd, I think.
Right.
Let's see what Rob in the Ferrari can do. He's currently on, I think, his best qualifying position. but he entered the pits as he was improving, but due to the short time we have, he wants to get a fresh software on. So everyone is going into the pits, and we only have Calvin on the track, who's about to start a lap, so we'll be following him for this lap. Do you know Calvin?
No, I don't know Calvin, but let's see what we can do on this lap. Oh, I can tell you exactly why he got the qualifying ban if you want. He says, Daniel says, for using AI under the safety car in Russia, as per the SFR rules regarding avoiding aided drivers. And then he puts Storm also, but is absent today, so we'll go to USA. And Calvin is GP4. So there you go.
So thank you for the information.
That's right. And thanks again, Daniel, for it. But yeah, so it was a AI under safety car that he got the qualifying ban for, so he must have done something under safety car, which wasn't good.
Well, I did it in the past also in this league, and I never got a penalty for it, so it must be quite new.
It must be.
That was the same when you're braking to get DRS. In the past you could get away with it, but now you get penalized for it.
As Calvin there goes up to P8 to the 27.9, 07, so very nice there from him. As X Gamer and Langfeld start their laps, and then everyone else except Quintin, Old Boy James, everyone else is on track.
And it's pretty close for the last places in the top 10, where we have 4 drivers in the 27.9. That's crazy.
It is, and if you, yeah, it is crazy to see there. It is. Their Senna goes a little bit wide, but it's only an out lap, so it'll be fine for Senna. Let's have a look then and see what's going to happen here between the guys. The 2 have just started laps. Chris and Nadeem have started their laps. Now Rob crosses the line, so he starts his lap now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It will. I'm going to keep on board with Langfeld to see what he does.
He hasn't currently set a lap time, and let's see what he can do in that Racing Point car, who did a very good weekend in Turkey last weekend. So let's see what he can do in that pink Mercedes. But I'll be following Chris as the checkered flag is out. Will Quintin hold the pole? Or will Chris maybe get the pole from one of the SAF1 guys? He's 2 tenths up. So let's see if he can snatch it to the front row of the grid. Here he goes up to the line. And Nadeem says a 26.1. Chris improves, but it's not enough. P3 it is for him. Then we have Chariot, who stays in 7th place. Then we'll have his teammate Karen Rupp with a slight 2 tenths up. Will he get P4? Let's see. Yes, with a 26.7. Then we'll have the Renault of X Gamer, who hasn't had a time yet, but here he goes. Goes up to P7 with a 27.2. Then we have the Williams of Frederick, who goes up to 4th place. And that's it for qualifying. So we'll have the SAF1 of Nadeem on pole position. Alongside him is another SAF1 from Quintin. And then we have Chris and Frederick rounding off the first 2 front rows. And here you can see the standings with Nadeem and Quintin on pole, Chris and Frederick on the 2nd row, Rob and Ebony on 5th and 6th, X Gamer and Sayed 7 and 8, Calvin starts 9 and Senna starts on the mediums in the top 10, so he's the only one in the top 10 who does that. James just missed out on the top 10. Old Boy qualified in 12. Maggot will crash into the qualifying. Starts from P13. Cyclowitz didn't set a lap time. SAF1 had a qualifying ban, and Tina Langfeld didn't set a qualifying time. So that's the qualifying session. Were you noticing something interesting for the race, or were you surprised by someone or whatever?
At the moment, let me have. Yeah, I'm surprised with Calvin, I think, because he did a very good time coming from GP4 up to this league, and putting a time in there. I would say maybe another surprise is Rob to be up in 5th as well. But the two at the top, Nadim and Quintin, very quick drivers, and they're showing that again with being 1st and 2nd, and separated only by 0.035, and then Chris 3 tenths behind.
So and in terms of strategy, will the strategy be soft to medium?
I think so. It's a very strategy to do that on. And I've got on my screen now, it says soft to hard or soft medium. So they're the softs here. You can do soft to mediums, but it'd be a push, I'd say.
Okay, looking who is going for the tyre choice outside the top 10. James is the only one who starts on the soft, so look out for him on the first laps. Behind him is Old Boy Maggot who starts on the medium. Cyclowitz will start on the hard tyre. That's an interesting choice. Prix will start on the medium, and the same is for Langfeld. What do you think by Cyclowitz's strategy to start on the hard tyre?
I think it's interesting because it can work, but I would say for the first couple of laps it's going to be a nightmare for him, because you're not going to get the tyre wear in time. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's a risk, but it's for one stop around here. It is hard to soft, so you could just go straight to soft and then it'd be fine. So it could be alright.
And we have seen earlier races in GP2 where a driver starts on a harder compound and gets the safety car luck with him and gets a better result than they were expected to be.
Indeed. Yeah, it's just the look of the draw, really, I'd say. And it'll be interesting to see what James can do as well on the soft. I know it's only one position less than Senna, but on the softs as well, the only one in the bottom 6 we've got on the softs, so it should be interesting then. It would as well, but everyone else still coming to the grid then.
Yes, and we'll see any collisions at the turn 1, which is quite narrow, going with all 16 cars we have today, going into that narrow turn 1 and then the S section. Hopefully it stays clean, but I will be surprised if we get a spin or a crash or whatever. But we're going to the grid with Nadim starting for pole position. Will he finish also the race on pole on the top tab of the podium? We'll see about that. The last drivers I think now joined the grid, so we can be ready for the race. Let's find a good camera position. Here we have. 5 lights are now on for the Japanese Grand Prix, and we are off for the GP2 at Suzuka, where I think that he has got a pretty good start. There's already a crash at the front. Oh my god, the Red Bull was going into the air. And now
the car is out.
The safety car is already out before we even got to turn 1, and James got disqualified for going the wrong way, but he was going backwards. And but yeah, that doesn't really matter anymore. This race and Maggot race are now ending. I think that will be the one for the stewards, as Calvin, X-Game and Emily got time penalties.
They have indeed. So Calvin and Ibany got 5 seconds and X-Game got 10 seconds.
Oh.
If you go, yeah, because the new thing that the game now allows you to see that, so you go across and you the penalties, you can see it. But yeah, what happened? Did you see what happened?
Yeah, I caught it on.
James.
I caught it on stream on the. It's just on top of the screen. I caught it and don't really saw in real time what happened, but yeah, I think it was just a leaving room or not leaving room.
Yeah, it was because it was basically just a coming together in my eyes. Well, it was just, I think it was just a racing incident, really, because when you look at it, as I watch the stream back now, they were having Psycho Mitch near them, who like was on the outside of the straight, and he was trying to go past them. So what Mackett was trying to do was go a little bit further inside to near the inside of the circuit, at the inside line, just to get it, and just didn't realise James was there, I don't think, and then tapped James, and they both went into the wall. So that's pretty much what I could see anyway, from what it was.
Several drivers are now pitting for damage or either serving a 5-second time penalty, which I think they all have done, so they're now all penalty free.
Yeah, everyone, people in the chat are going, the Red Bull moved over very quickly. James is saying, why did I get disqualified? This game's a joke. And then somebody says, Mackett moved over too quickly from what I could see as a spectator. Okay. So there we go. They're basically saying Mackett moved over too quickly.
Yeah, that's has caused the safety car we have right now, and we'll have the stewards deciding in after this what they think the penalty is gonna be for Mackett or just a racing incident. But to have an incident so early, that's yeah, how do you call it? Yeah, it's unnecessary really, with still a lot of laps to go.
It is a very unnecessary one, and I feel for James a little bit, because you could see the Red Bull coming over a little bit, maybe just to avoid his teammate a bit, but came a little bit too far over, I'd say, and then James just reversing for like the 5 seconds he did, but make him disqualified. So a bit annoying, but that's just the game.
Indeed, and we can now take a look at the position changes, and as everyone Ryan has made up the most position, he has won 9 places, with Cyclemans V7 won 7 places, and Langveld did win 8 positions from the last position of the grid, and Senna also won 5 positions. So these were the big winners from the first car, from the first meter accident, you could really call it.
Yep, and then I'll just say it, I can see it. Down, Serge is down 5 and Ibany is down 8. So they're the biggest losers in this one as well.
And Ibany has gone for the hard tires, so do you think he wants to go, or tries to go to the end?
Yeah, you got the game. we go long on them tyres, I would say he might have to pit again because they will just manage to get you to the end. And so I may say maybe like lap 23, 24 he'll come in for some softs and then go back out in the race. But it's a push. But it is doable though to go onto the hards. And if the safety car stays out for one more lap after this, then he will it'll be a better place for him than what he is at the moment on them hards. But yeah, it is going to be a push, I'll say, for them. But it is doable.
And I don't think he won't get that extra lap behind the safety car. The whole track is now behind the safety car, so we will get a message that when the safety car will be coming in, I think. Looks like he's staying out for another lap.
Out. Let's have a look.
He will stay out. Oh, that's quite a late call from the safety car. So here we go. Nadim goes onto the throttle and is leading the Japanese Grand Prix as Quentin straightly makes a move for P2. Looking at the onboard cam from Frederick, as he goes quite wide on the turn 1. And Senna is really looking tasty on the inside. On the medium tires, remember that. And Chris is really close to the rear of Quinton and has to be aware of the dirty air effect that these cars have. But at the moment he's doing fine. I saw that Rai was having a look on Senna's inside, but stays behind for now as the cyclist is leaving a gap to Rai, and that's probably because of the hard tire.
Probably is, as Langfeld is right behind him, so Langfeld could probably get past this time.
He's using his ERS, so he wants to go quick overtake him, and he goes into the 130R, overtakes him and is up to P7. There's also the Ferrari of Carl and Rob who overtakes him, and also Rai has overtaken Senna, both on the mediums, and Senna seems to didn't have a good momentum coming out the corner, and Langfeld tries to go around the outside of Senna. Oh, it's calm there, but still side by side. It's incredible to see. And now the race board has the inside, and he overtakes it. So that's quite an incredible move from Langfeld. And it looks like Senna has front wing damage, because he hasn't got the left front end plate anymore, and has been overtaken by Rob, and his teammate will pass him, and he let him by. So it's what do you see?
You say just in the background of what you're talking about with Senna, Calvin, because of Senna, I think it was, or maybe Cyclomix going a bit slowly into the hairpin there, is now heading to Spoon. We'll try to go down the inside now with Calvin, so is he going to try? He's going to try and get past it.
It's really close here for P10 or P9, I would say.
Yes, they were going into the hairpin. As
Whoa, Calvin! With a big dive and touched the rear of Senna, but go on the way he wants to talk about.
They're still battling behind him with Serge and Psycho Mitch. And Old Boy, who just gets through as well. So there must be some problem with Psycho Mitch's car. He just lost 3 positions there. So if there isn't, then let's have a look. No, nothing wrong with his car, so maybe just a mistake he made.
Yeah, the hard tire not really in the temperature window he wants, and even he looks very hungry behind him. Looks like he doesn't really have a good balance in that car. And even he overtakes him, not at a place you really see them a lot, but he goes for up to P12.
Yeah, so what actually happened just there on Coldwin and Cycle Mix, they were going into the hairpin just before Spoon, that hairpin, and Calvin was on the outside and then he just tapped the side of Cycle Mitch's car. No damage of course to both front wings, but just had a little tap and a little slide. Last lap, so that's all it really was. As Ray is closing in on Frederick, I think, at the front, so that's interesting.
I haven't really taken a look at the front, but Ryan has some really good pace, as she says, the fastest lap on the medium tires, and we're already on lap 7. So the medium tires are really now coming into the play, and he's not far away from the front. You could almost, he can just see the lead. It's only 4 or 5 seconds from him. Quentin is also in the DRS window of Nadine, away from Chris. We have a yellow flag, and that's Senna was off. Medium, so with Rye and Lankan and Shayat.
I think it's helping them because they are on. Well, yeah, it kind of is helping them, but isn't at the same time, because when you look at Ray and Langfeld, they are on more used tyres, and if the game is right, as the game sometimes is, it says about 13-14 laps on the medium tyres, so they literally have about 7 laps to go. So for them, they've already got their rubber up to temperature, so they can just fly away when they get the race started again, which will be next lap, because we're having one more lap time safety car. But they will. But other than that, I would say wouldn't really be beneficial for them. Maybe some of the guys who will be benefiting from this, Ibeni, because he's only on 5 lap old hards, and the guys who are on the new mediums as well. As the old boy, by the way, comes into the pits, because he's changing from the softs, and I think he's going on the mediums because I think he made a mistake when he chose them.
Yeah, or serving a penalty, and he served 5 seconds, so he has done that, and Senna also comes into the pits to serve also a 5-second time penalty. So they only have a 3-second time penalty because of the exceeding track limits they had, and Senna goes for the hards, and I think he'll go to the end. But I wanted to ask that if Ibini is the net race leader now, as he's also on the hard tire, and probably will try to go to the end.
Yeah. If I was in this race and I was Ibini right now, I would try and go to the end on them tyres. You could probably just about go on them, but I would say the best option, the best person I would say maybe on tyres right now is maybe. I know I probably shouldn't jinx this, but maybe looking at maybe Chris is the best option. Chris and Nadim, because they're on the hards and they've just got them on. So, but and I would say at the moment, Nabeni, yeah, he is your divisional race leader due to the top 3 need to pick yet for a new set of tyres.
Yes, and we'll also be interested to see what's Quentin gonna do on the mediums. He has to pit again, I think, because I don't think you will get the mediums till the end, or you need to do some super tire saving on those tires. We have Senna pitting again for now going from medium, so he thinks he can get his tire to the end. So let's see if they can manage those mediums to the end.
So I think, as we are saying, safety car will be in. Yep, there we go then. So it's announced it earlier this time. So provisionally, just to say to everyone who is watching, Nadeem, it looks like Nadeem and Chris are going to be leading this race, but Nabeni I think has got the best opportunity at the moment due to Serge, Langfeld and Ray haven't pitted at all yet. But Ray is holding the field up at the moment. I think, yeah, he is.
He will be going now.
You hear them, we are now viewing. Anyone? The closest person right now is Chris on the back of Quintin. Actually, Nadeem is on the back of Psychomich now, so that's the closest actually.
Yeah, we will be following the train behind the Psychomich. As the top 4 is now running away, that's going to be an advantage for those on the mediums who will have to pit. So the longer Cyclone is holding them up, how happier everyone ride is going to be in the cockpit. And here comes Nadine to the inside, the 130 yard. It pushes Cyclone a bit wide, so Cyclone will lose a lot of position. I saw some from wing bit flying. What the? It's Chris! Chris has got...
Frederick's there.
Oh. Frederick overtakes Chris.
Yeah, there was basically what then, if you wanted to know what it was, is Senna's in the back of the mix as well. Has takes game in there, up to Queen of 11, but it was basically, Chris was coming into the corner trying to overtake somebody, and he just went a bit too deep into the corner. And one of the cars, he tapped the side of one of the cars, who then the back of one of the cars, so he then went a bit into the corner. So that was why it was.
It does seem like that Rob doesn't really have a good traction. Oh, my internet's going everywhere, so apologies for that. But the fun at the moment is really at the back of the top 10, where it's almost just go-karts where they're on the rear of each other. Here we go. Will we see some free ride moments here between Ferrari and the Renault? Not really, but the Ferrari defends on Senna, who has still got front wing damage. And currently is into the points as Chris has pitted for the new front wing.
Indeed. Yeah, it would just say it was Chris on the back of Quinton, by the way. With that little excursion, but it's now Rob right on the back of Psycho Mitch. It'll be interesting to see, just quickly, Serge, who's in third, has got a 3-second time penalty as well. So everyone who's got penalty now will 3 seconds, by the way, everyone. So the battle is from, it goes, just to say, well, you can talk about this in a second, but it's Mitch, Rob, Senna, X-Gamer, Old Boy, and Calvin, sorry, in a line. And then it is Chris, who's a bit further back.
So it's pretty much a 5 or 6 car battle. And Old Boy and X-Gamer had an accident at the 130 hour with both going off the track, so nobody had the advantage from it. So that will be something for the stewards, I would think. So we'll go back to Rob, who was looking hungry behind Cyclemits, goes up to P8. So that's a clean move done, and we have yellows in sector 3, that's Old Boy retiring in the pit, so we won't have a safety car for that. X-Gamer pits now, and I think we'll be quite angry on the Alfa Romeo. Well, Cyclemits has gone off track, lost it coming out of the S section. So he loses big time. We have Frederick into the pits, well, on 6 level medium, so is that a strategy or a front wing change? It looks like they're gonna have a front wing change, and we can confirm that as he got damage from something. And he goes out again on another medium, as Chris says the fastest lap with 29.9. And he makes a move on turn 1 on cycle mix, so he's back into the points. And we have Ebony now on the back of Sayed. Even he will now have DRS on Sayed and will be going up into 3rd place. Now he hopes that Seat will hold the SAF1 guys behind him as long as he can. Senna is now pitting another time for the softs. This was Senna's fourth pit stop of today, so hope this was the last one for him.
As you can see as well, with Serge a little bit slower, as I am back by the way, and Nadeem now is closing in as well on him. So
yeah, the mediums are really going off now. She's got the yellow in sector 1, that's for Senna spinning.
this is going to be this is going to be a bad day today, it is, meaning that, what I mean by that is, when you look at the Constructors' Championship, Williams, who are currently, where's the best Williams? In third position now, as you overtake Serge, does Nadeem. So they, at the moment, will be overtaking Renault in the Constructors for the top of the Championship. And so maybe will McLaren, if McLaren can get 2 point scoring cars at the end of this race, as Serge goes off but back on. But yeah, so at the moment it looks like Williams are going to be overtaking Renault for the top of the Constructors.
Yes, and the last few races from Renault have been going up and down, and it's more the down races they really have, so they aren't really in a good shape. So hope they can get some points from this race, but it's not looking very positive. So Senna has had enough for today and retires. Nadeem has found himself in a second of Ebony, and remember that this is going to be for the race lead. And I think Ebony will also try to hold Nadeem, so Quinten can maybe have a look to overtake Nadeem. And both SAF1 guys are in a championship battle with 32 points, I think it was between them. So if Quinten can get a position from and get some points off him, then it will be a closer championship. But I think Nadeem made somewhere a mistake as he lost time to Ebony, and Quinten is coming more closer to the rear of Nadeem.
If I'm looking at lap times between Quinten and Nadeem, Quinten's been doing 30, he did a 30.3, 30.3, 30.7, 30.4 the last couple of laps, and Nadeem's been doing 30.2, 35, 38, 30.2 or 30.5, so they're pretty much both of them doing consistent lap times.
Yes indeed.
So it doesn't, I don't know, it just feels like maybe Quinten is a little bit quicker. It's harder to say, but Langfeld is right on the back there with Calvin.
Yeah, Langfeld sets the purple sector 2 time as he's going around the outside of Calvin. No, he backs out of that one. But Langfeld will get Calvin on this straight. On the fresh softs against quite old medium tires will do it for him. After Langfeld sets the fastest lap time of 29.7, goes around the outside of the turn 1. Will he do it? Yes, he will. Oh, and Calvin made contact with his rear and spun. That's unfortunate for him, but luckily for him, he only lost one position. and not quite a big margin to say it. And when will we see? Oh, we have a further safety car. So could this play out for Rye? Do you think?
Yeah, it could do. I think isn't it because X Gamer's now retired? Is that why, or is it
Yes,
ages ago?
that's why. He retired on track, and the VSC has come out. So let's see.
Yeah, it's good for a ride because he's right next to the pit lane, so he will do his stop in the pit with the pit virtual safety car out, but then I think he will just be exiting the pits as it comes in. So it's a great opportunity for him here with literally about 7, maybe 8 laps to go here, but he will lose positions.
And even is also pitting. He goes for the mediums. Interesting. And he will come back behind Langfell if he has a little bit of bad luck, and he will. So Rye is now in 4th place, and it's only some 10 seconds behind. And if he can get past Rob, who is currently running a podium position, Rye can be something to look out for at the last few laps of the race. Even though it's quite a big gap, but you know, everything can happen.
As he goes right there.
He only has to look, so he will prepare his move for the chicane or turn 1. And maybe already here, oh look at the actually got, and already catches it before the 130 yards, so he's up into 3rd place, completing another SAF1 podium. So let's see what his lap times are gonna be in free air now. As the battle until the 42 championship rivals are not over yet.
And not indeed, as into last chicane, Surge comes. But no, it's going to be interesting at the top because the gap is closing.
Here comes Surge to the inside. Calvin is quite squeezing him. But Surge gets the move done and is up until P7. And will Calvin tries to go to the end to those mediums?
Yeah, I do think he will. I think he has enough fun then to get to meet the end. I think 16 laps is what you need to really do on medium, so you can push them to a little bit longer. He'll be fine.
Looking at the penalties, he has the equal fight with Surrey. They both got a 3-second time penalty. And can Curtin get a move on to Nadim? He looks quite close, but the action Nadim got is just enough for him on the straight. Here comes Quinton, but yeah, Nadim is just too far away. As Rice sets the fastest lap with a 28.7. That's a second quicker than Langfell a few laps ago.
Let's see what Quentin, let's see what he can do there. It'd be interesting to see what he can do because he is second. They're both on the same lap of tyres. I think Quentin may just make it to the end because, as we saw earlier, the tyre dropped off around lap 16. So it is going to be interesting to see with the medium tyre. The hard you can probably do about 20 laps. So It's alright.
So in terms of tires, Nadim will be the favorite in this battle. As it's getting darker around the track, I don't think there will be rain coming, but it's looking darker, and that means that it will be cold, and then the softer tires will come more into their advantage than the hard tire that Nadim is on. Alright, he improves the fastest lap by attempt. Is a 28.6661. As he is about to close the gap by a second per lap, but I don't think it will be enough to catch these top two. But maybe Nadim or Quinten gets a penalty and he can move up a position. And it's the only track on battle we have at the moment. With Langford closing in on Rob, but I think Rob is a bit too far away for Langford.
It does, as you were saying a minute ago, it does look even darker than it was a minute ago, so maybe there is a little bit of rain coming, but for only the end of the race.
Yeah, and rain will be the most horrific scenario for Nadim, as the Hearts don't really like rain.
It will be interesting. Yeah, then to just, I'll say anyway for everyone who's wondering, Serge, Calvin, Chris and Psycho Mitch all have penalties. Serge, Chris and Calvin have 3 seconds and Psycho Mitch has 5 seconds as the gap's closed from the 0.7 to 0.6 again, so every lap it goes down to 10th on that thing, so.
Yeah, I noticed that Quinten is faster on in the corner sections and Nadim is faster on the straights.
Yep.
And Nadim in every traction zone gets just enough for to keep Quinten behind.
And there you go, you see the example again, Quinten goes really close, 0.2 into the corners, and then now on these corners, which are quite, I would say faster than normal, the gap goes back up to 0.6, so on the slow speed stuff, as you can see, that Quinten, as you were rightly saying, is quicker. With like 2.5 laps to go, it is going to be a matter of time.
Also, Ryan gets a 3-second time penalty, so he will be taken to his third place, which he has right now, so he only has to bring it home and get 15 points to his tally. So the fight will definitely be between Nadim and Quinten. And how does it look like in track limits warning for those two?
Let me have a look for you. So, so Nadim has 2 warnings and Quinton has 1.
So Nadim is quite close to a penalty, so if Quinton can get real pressure on Nadim, pushing him over the limit, then he will win the race. But that's more difficult than you were saying.
Indeed, as Calvin now is right on the back of Prix. Let's see if he can make his way through into turn 1.
And I think we could also see a last lap battle between Rob and Langford for P4. As the gap is now come down to 1.5 seconds.
It's going to be hard for Quinton, I think, this last lap when they get onto it, as they head around Spoon, because, well, not Spoon, sorry, they head, Spoon. But
yes.
Why I said that is because he's on the medium tyres and they're going to be like dead nearly by now. So they only normally last about 17 laps, so. But we'll see.
Yeah, the gap is now over a second, so the medium tires has run out.
As they now start the last lap.
I think Langford needs one more lap to overtake Rob P4. And further down we don't really have battles, so only for P1 and P4. And if we had maybe 3 laps longer, then Ryo would have been interesting. I only just noticed that Frederick has better for fresh soft, so he'll try to steal the fastest lap from Rye. Now coming through the final chicane, it's already the final lap, so here Nadim, he started from pole position and he has hold off Quinton after the second period, and he wins the Japanese Grand Prix in front of Quinton, and Ryan Verpes will complete another SAF1 podium with Langford looks really close. Needed one more lap to get it 4th place, so Rob will take P4, Langford P5. Ebony will finish in P6 with now P7. Chris will finish in P8. Calvin, the GP4 driver, will bring home 2 points for the Haas team, and Will Frederick gets the final point and the extra point for faster lap, which will make it 2. He's 1.6 seconds up on his time, on his personal best, so let's see if he's gonna set the fastest lap time. Yes, he does with 128.3. That's I think 3 times faster than Rye did, but that was around 6 laps ago, so that's pretty as expected. And Cyclements will be getting the last checkered flag of this race. He'll finish P11 as he had a difficult race and didn't seem to have the pace in the top 10. As the driver of the day by the game is SAF1 Rye, and I think we could all agree by that, as he started outside the top 10.
Agreed.
So here we have the podium with Nadim extending his championship lead to almost 40 points, so he is looking comfortable for the coming races, with Quinton in 2nd place. and Ryan 3rd place. So hopefully we can have a chat with those 3.
Yeah, I'll get them in now for you.
Thank you, and I'll be going through the standings with SAF1 Nadim winning the race starting from pole and winning the race. Quentin has stayed in the position where he started in 2nd place. SAF1 came from P15 to finish 3rd. Then we have Carl and Rob in 4th place. Really good result for the Welshman. Langford finished in 5th place from P16, so he did also an amazing drive today. Then we have Ebony in 6th place, Suyat 7th, Chris 8th, Calvin 9th, Frederick in 10th place, Cyclist 11th, and not finishing the race are X-Gamer and Senna. So both Renaults are not scoring points today. Old Boy and hasn't finished the race. James got disqualified, and Mackett had a really short race of the Japanese Grand Prix. So these are the results from the Japanese Grand Prix, and hopefully we can get all those 3 in. We got the top 2 in already, and it's now complete. So I think we can start off with our race winner Nadim. You started from pole position. You won the race and hold it off Quentin. How was your race?
Nadim, are you here?
Yeah, I can hear.
Alright. Well, if you didn't hear that, chain game just asked you how first to first and held off Quintin. How was that?
Yeah, it was very slow. I thought I made a mistake when I came in for the odds. I thought probably mediums is the right call, so I thought Quentin was probably going to take me. But yeah, those last laps I was just trying to keep it as clean as I could, and yeah, take especially along the long straight, and then Quentin will probably have me. So yeah, it was just full concentration. All those laps. Yeah, yeah. I'm just drained to be honest, but really I managed to pull that one.
And with winning the Japanese Grand Prix, you've extended your championship with 39 points to Quentin. So you get closer to that GP2 championship.
Yeah, no, edging is slowly but surely. But yeah, I knew it was important to keep Quentin man because obviously he's second in the championship. So yeah, if he won, it would have been a big swing. But yeah, just trying to pick up the points as I can, and hopefully I can continue this still for the last few races.
And as well today, you have because of that, because both, if you didn't know, both Renaults were out the race today. So that means that you have now put Williams up to first in the constructors as well.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's been a long battle with Renault and McLaren. But yeah, I think we've been picking up some good points recently. So yeah, hopefully run to the best time. So yeah, hopefully we can take both titles. But I know it's gonna be a struggle till the end because those guys are really fast. But yeah, let's hope we can continue so till the end of the season.
So that was your race winner Nadim. And now we're going to the other SAF1 podium take, which is Quentin. Quentin, you started from P2 and was on a faster tire than Nadim was, but you couldn't get past Nadim. How frustrating must that have been?
Yeah, quali was good. I was happy with my lap. Always knew Nadim was going to come for pole, and he narrowly took it, so I was really hoping for pole. The race went pretty well. When I always knew that I was going to do a soft to medium strategy, so I figured safety car came in slightly earlier than I would have liked, but I'd still stuck to the mediums, hoping that I could just get ahead of him and hopefully defend towards the end. But we got caught up in traffic a bit, and just running behind him, his pace was so good that I just couldn't get next to him down the straight, and I was just trying to force him into a mistake or a penalty towards the end because I couldn't get past him. So I thought, if I'm on his gearbox the whole time, hopefully he makes a mistake. But he kept his nerve, and well done. He deserves P1. He had a brilliant race in front of me.
So you're saying that you wanted pole position, not the second position? Around this circuit that we just did, do you think pole's better than where you started from the inside?
I think it's a matter of just getting to the first corner first. So if you're on second, if you start in second place, you need a very good start. And unfortunately, Chris also got a good start behind me, so I lost one position. But yeah, I think being in pole position, whether you're on the inside or the outside, it's about just getting into that corner first, because overtaking is very difficult. So track position is crucial on this track.
And by finishing off the interviews, we'll go to SAF on Rai. So Rai, you had a qualifying ban and started from P15 and got up to third place. That virtual safety car came out very good for you, but a few laps longer and you could have joined the battle between Nadim and Quinten.
It was a good time for me. I wish the second safety car had come out, because at that point there, I felt comfortable. I was on the right strategy at that point. I felt a little bit closer to me to I had that. Overall, yeah, it's a good race. I just hadn't got the qualifying. It was a good race.
James, has you got any questions for the top 3?
Well, I've got one question to ask all of them. I don't know if you're going to ask that next, but Rai, we'll go with you first then. Are you looking forward to USA next week?
It's kind of like Suzuka. It's a lot of fast flowing things. It's a bad circuit. But I expect them to be medium to be quick on there as well. So he says great track for me.
Alright. And Quinten then? Do you like USA?
Yeah, I have this love-hate relationship with that circuit. I've had good results there in the past, but it's not my favorite. So I'm just going to try and be consistent, and if I can get onto the podium, it'll be a bonus for me.
Okay. And Nadim, are you trying to make it 4 out of 4? So the last 4 races winning them all?
Yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to do that, but yeah, I haven't really raced. I don't think I've raced at all around Kota this year. And yeah, I don't think it's my best track, but yeah, I'll obviously give it a good go. And like Quinten said, I think even if I can just get a podium and just keep the run of good results along, I'll be happy with it.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So I would like to congratulate the top 3 for having a good race, and we'll see you all next week for the USA Grand Prix. And to write off the stream, I would like to invite you tomorrow for the GP1 division, where it's a pretty close championship, and tomorrow me and Oliver will talk you through all the ins and outs about the highest division in Speed Force Racing. And with that, I would like to say have a good night everyone, and we'll see you back next week for GP2 in